Hey everyone, so I thought in this very short video today what I would do is actually just show you how I edited one of the last images from the previous video, which was actually of a small waterfall which I shot pretty much in my back garden. And I'm just going to show you how I actually used the one of our presets within the Lightroom preset collection that we currently have. So if you're interested, you can go to our site, which is nebofineart.co.uk, head up to the bit where it says photographers and select the Lightroom presets option, and there is our product, which is actually 10 presets for $9.99. And if you're interested, you can purchase those and then get them installed into Lightroom, and you can basically walk through what I'm about to do. So this is the actual image. So this is the raw file straight out of camera, and it was a 0.6 second exposure at f11. So you can see we've got quite a nice bit of movement in the water, a nice little bit of blur. But basically, just to keep this nice and short, I'm going to jump in straight away and apply the Port Coon preset. And then we're going to do a little crop in the image. This area up here I'm going to try and exclude because it's quite distracting to the eye, so I'm going to just crop in a little bit closer like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull in a gradient from both sides. So I'm going to drop in a gradient there and just reduce the exposure down a little bit. And I'm going to do the same on that side, just to help bring the eye towards the center of these two waterfalls here. Now, by default, the Port Coon preset has the profile set to Adobe Color. I'm going to change that to the landscape just to try and make these greens of the moss pop a little bit. And I'm also going to pull up the saturation just a little bit more. And obviously, because we've used the preset, everything else, there's been a few tweaks and stuff already made to the image. So I don't think I'm going to do an awful lot more in Lightroom. May just adjust the whites a tiny little bit. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to right click and go edit in Adobe Photoshop 2020. And we'll just bring it into Photoshop just to do a little bit of a cleanup on some of the twigs and these little branches here, which are a little bit distracting. Okay, so here we have the image in Photoshop. So what I'm going to do with this here is literally clean up all these kind of bits and pieces here. So the tool I normally use is the spot healing brush. So I'm just gonna really quickly mask out some of this sort of stuff. I apologise, I'm not actually using a mouse, I'm using the trackpad on my MacBook, so this is maybe why it looks a little bit wonky. And literally just looking for any little spots that may be slightly distracting to the eye, so maybe little highlights along that side, or some of these little twigs, like this little branch here. We'll just get rid of that. And maybe just a little bit down along here. And I think that looks pretty good. And one last thing I'm going to do is actually use Color Efex Pro just to apply a little bit of glamour glow. It's pretty much the same as the Orton effect, so it just gives a nice little bit of a glow to the image. So I'm going to unlock the background layer and I'm going to create a duplicate layer, and then I'm going to go to Filter, Nik Collection and Color Efex Pro. And this is going to be really subtle. I don't want to go overboard with it. So if I just toggle the effect off and on, you will probably see it more on the water, where it just gives a nice sort of painterly glow to it. I'm even going to maybe bring the glow just down, maybe to about 15%. Hit OK. That will apply it to the second layer. And then pretty much all I'm going to do is flatten it. And just for the purpose of this, I'm going to save it so that whenever I go back into Lightroom, that is the original raw, and that is the finished item. So I'm going to bring just both of those up side by side. So the image on the left is the image that was edited using the Portcom preset. The one on the right is the original RAW file. So you can see, other than applying the preset and doing a little bit of cleaning up, I haven't actually done an awful lot to the image. So I guess this is one of the really good things about the presets, is that they actually do take away a bit of the hassle and the bother, and maybe you're wondering what you should actually do with an image, or you know, all the adjustments you have to make to get it from this to this, and pretty much with the touch of one button we've been able to accomplish that. So I do hope that has been helpful for you. If you maybe have any questions about the editing or about the presets, drop them in a comment below, and I'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible.